it really came from looking at the archive, and I found out about a project called Théâtre de la Mode, which Nina Ricci and his mother had worked on, along with other Parisian houses, to promote fashion after the war, and it was making scaled-down models of the couture pieces. So that took me to think of how it was for women in Paris at that time when there were rationing and restrictions and you couldn't get the fabrics you want. So I think women had to be very creative with their wardrobe and basically make, do and mend. I didn't want the silhouette to feel retro in any way though, that was important. So it was very much about a contemporary woman but looking to that period of time as a departure. So that in fact was shredded chiffon and then it was re-knitted, and I liked the idea that it became a sweater but it still had its blouse sleeve with the tie at the cuff. That really reflected the kind of DIY couture, making things from something else. There was a few elements like that throughout the show where it really kind of nailed the concept, I think. I think I pushed the colour palette a lot and I introduced some new colours for Nina Ricci, notably the saffron and the dark mocha, which is a colour that I've not really touched on before. I thought those colours related back very much to the period that I'd been looking at. I wanted to make them feel contemporary though by mixing them with soft tones, so quite often the dark brown was played off against soft pinks and pale blue. Jewellery, yes, that was great, and that was a collaboration that I did with a very good friend of mine called Sonia Boyajan, who's a Los Angeles-based jewellery designer. And thinking of the concept and recycling, I thought, well, why does everything have to be about having a brand new collection every season? So Sonia allowed me to use her archive. So some of the pieces on the catwalk today were actually pieces that she'd made 10 years ago. And I think by using them at Nina Ricci and putting them in the show, gave them a new life. So again, it really related back to the concept of the show. Leather goods were obviously very important. It was a bucket bag because obviously, you know, that's something that's a bucket and it becomes a bag. So that seemed to fit in, but obviously we wanted to make it feel very luxurious, so sometimes it was made in crocodile, and we played around with a lot of colour combinations. And on some of the styles it was probably hard to see, but inside there was python as the lining of the bag. So, you know, that's very important to have. Sometimes the luxury is about what's on the inside as well.
things that look really terrific on the runway are often very extreme, and then when you see them on the street, they just sort of don't click for you. And I think oftentimes it's the collections like a Nina Ricci that are more understated that tend to kind of work better on the street because they sort of follow the rules of our culture in terms of what's allowed.
Oh, I thought it was incredibly pretty. I mean, Peter's done with the codes of the house is so sensitive and kind of modern but very referential of all that Nina Ricci romance, and I like this idea of the kind of make-to and mend pieces that somehow look so sophisticated. It's great.
I think I had a very singular view of what I wanted for the house, that's for sure, and I think it's developed and expanded over that time, but I've always stayed true to my vision. But if I think of the first collections, these ones, this one that we showed today feels a lot more accomplished, I think, and a lot more polished.